What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you an NFL Mailbag question on Carson Wentz. And the question is, should the Cincinnati Bengals target Carson Wentz to be their backup quarterback? But before we start with the video, guys, I want to point you guys to two sections in my description box down below. One being my social media links. Follow me everywhere on all social media platforms. And the other is the Amazon product links. I have 4 links down bottom. Check them out. They're all sports and workout related. Now let's get into the video. So the NFL mailbag question. The question came from Instagram, and it's from a Bengals fan. I've done a couple of backup quarterback prediction videos. I did Teddy Bridgewater. I did Jacoby Brissett. I got that one wrong. I had him going to the Cardinals. He ended up going to the Commanders. So, and I haven't done one on Wentz yet. I'm trying to figure out where Wentz goes. And honestly, I was leaning towards the Cardinals. But when they were asking me the question, I was like, okay, the Bengals kind of. First off, the question was, I forgot to tell you the question. The question was, should the Bengals target Carson Wentz? And at first I said, heck no. I said, heck no. But before I just dismiss it, let me look at their roster and let me just look. And I thought, but instead of answering, I told them I'll do it in a video. And here's my answer here. So, looking at the Bengals roster, right? I think they have 3 options to get better. Their draft, looking at their draft was okay. I love the Miles Murphy pick. I wanted my Falcons at 8 to get Miles Murphy, so for him to drop that low and for them to get him was amazing in my opinion. Maybe I was too high on Murphy, but I like Murphy a whole lot. But outside of that, though, they didn't really, they had some cool moves. I like Jordan Battle. I like DJ Turner. Couple other guys here and there, but other than that, though, I think they have three veteran options that they could help their team right away. One being Carson Wentz, their backup quarterback. Right now at the quarterback spot, behind Joe Burrow, they have Trevor Siemian and Jake Browning. Another spot is a running back spot, which is less likely now. But I do like the fit. If they were to bring in a guy like Ezekiel Elliott or Leonard Fournette for the running back spot behind Joe Mixon, I wouldn't mind it. But the way it looks like now, they have Chase. They just drafted Chase Brown. They still have Trayvon Williams, who they like, Chris Evans. So I'm thinking they're gonna probably stick with those 2 guys or those 3 guys, Evans, Brown, and Williams behind Mixon. Brown is pretty good running back. I like Williams a lot. So that makes sense there. And the last spot is left guard. I like Dalton Reisner. He's one of the guys I'm surprised is still around, honestly. But last year, the Bengals starting left guard was Cordell Volson. Started the full year, played well. Upgrade could be needed. Is Reisner that upgrade? I'm not quite sure. They might want to bank on. They might want to bank on Volson getting better and upping his game up some this year. So, but bringing in Reisner could be a good addition just to bring some backup, because we know the Bengals O-line and also the Chiefs O-line too. Those 2 O-lines are always in the mix of being injured. You know what I mean? So having a guy like Reisner waiting on the bench or waiting in rotation behind someone left or right guard spot would make sense as well. But on to the topic though, Carson Wentz. Should they sign Carson Wentz? I'm not opposed to it. Wentz behind Burrow now, like I said, Simeon and Browning, they don't really have any real game experience. Browning has none. Simeon has very, very little. Maybe 1 or 2 starts, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, maybe. But outside of that, Wentz, a bona fide former star quarterback, former almost MVP. He should have won. He should have won that year prior to the injuries. But he's had some great play. Now 30 years old. Last couple of years has been tough for him. But I still believe in Carson Wentz, especially as a backup, especially as a spot starter if need to win 1 or 2 games, especially around a good team like the Bengals, a bunch of weapons, a bunch of athleticism. Chase, Higgins, Boyd, good running backs behind him, good defense. He don't gotta do too much, and that's the major thing. He don't have to. I can't even talk. He doesn't have to do too much, and I I keep going back a couple years ago to that Colts squad when Wentz was the starting quarterback. I didn't think he played bad. I really think that last game versus the Jaguars, that game they had to win to get into the playoffs, really distorted people's minds about how that year was. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't great. No, don't get me wrong. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. Last year with the Commanders, I didn't love the fit. Honestly, I don't know why they even got him, but they ended up doing that. But I was definitely opposed to that fit. I didn't like him with that offensive scheme, honestly. But he was 2-5 last year for his overall record. A lot of down moments, but I still think, given the right team, right situation, and also we've seen Joe Burrow go down and be injured here and there also. So you want to have someone who can keep you afloat, someone who can keep you steady until he comes back in case of injury. He's been banged up a lot the last couple of years, especially with the O line play. So it's tough. I've seen people say Teddy Bridgewater. Um, how Teddy Bridgewater performed last year with the Dolphins, I say no. He wasn't. I know he got injured, but he wasn't aggressive. I want my backup to be. I want my spot starter, my rotation quarterback to be aggressive, to be able to throw the ball, to not be scared at the moment. It seems like sometimes, I know Teddy tends to be a dink and dunk quarterback, but Wentz will go. Wentz will go all the way. He'll give his whole body up to try to get a first down. And I kind of like that. So out of the 3 to 4 options, Carson Wentz, the 2 running backs, Fournette or Zeke Elliott, and Dalton Reisner, I wouldn't mind doing Carson Wentz. I'll say yes to Wentz. Reisner a close second and probably should be first, but your backup quarterback should be top notch, and I think Wentz could be one of the better backup quarterbacks, behind Brissett, behind Bridgewater. I think name wise, I think just play wise, if you were to say, hey, give me one start, give me a half, give me one drive, I wouldn't mind saying, hey, Wentz, let's see what you got. You got Jamar Chase, you got Boyd, you got Higgins, a good running game, and a good defense. Win us this second half for us. Burrow's shoulders banged up, so I would go with Wentz. Dalton Reisner, a super duper close second option for the Bengals in free agency, but I will lean towards Wentz first and get Burrow a legit backup quarterback, one who's been in the big moments before. Even though he might not be trustworthy now, at one point in time, Wentz was balling out. And I think people like me are hanging on to that, but I think people unlike me who hanging on to Wentz's bad play too much. I think too much of Wentz is, probably bad, but just enough, here and there, spot starter, or like I said, finish a half out. Hey, Burrow going to the locker room early to get taped up or get looked at. Let's go ahead and can you win the last 3 quarters? I think Wentz could do that given the situation going in Zach Taylor's offense. I wouldn't mind seeing Wentz do that. Play action should work. You got ballers, Chase and Higgins on the outside, Boyd on the inside. So I'll believe in Wentz to win you 1 or 2 games in case Burrow goes down or something happens to him. So that's my prediction there. I like Wentz. If not, go with Dalton Dalton Reisner, Zeke, and Leonard Fournette. I don't know where they're gonna go. I did a prediction video earlier on Zeke going to the Chargers. I had one early as well on Fournette going to the Bills. That's probably gone. Zeke to the Chargers still makes sense. The Kellen Moore thing, pairing him with Austin Eckler makes sense to me. But Fournette, I don't know. I have no clue where he goes. Miami maybe, but they have 4 running backs, 3, 4 running backs. I gotta look. I gotta look in it deep and see where Fournette could go. But I would say if the Bengals didn't draft Brown, I would have said go all in, not go all in, but go for Fournette, go for Zeke. And also Zach Taylor gave words of encouragement saying Mixon will be back with the team after the draft, basically. So seeing that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, for him saying that, setting in stone now, kind of sort of. You can't always trust a coach's word or a GM's word, but the way he said it, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it means Mixon will be back, guaranteed almost, unless something else happens. You have Chase Brown, you have Trayvon Williams, who the team already likes. There's no need to bring in one more guy, at least right now. Maybe if someone gets hurt, God forbid, then you'll bring in Fournette if he's still available, or Zeke during the season, doing training camp. But right now, I don't see him needing a running back. It doesn't really make sense. So that's it for the video, guys. Hope that answered the question, guy person in Instagram. I actually want to say his name. He said no. He just wanted to he wanted to do a video on it, so I did that. So I do think Carson Wentz should be a Bengal when it's all said and done this off season. You need someone behind Burrow who's trustworthy, or at least has game experience at very least. And Simeon and Browning don't quite have that. So I would lean towards going with Carson Wentz. If not Wentz, I guess Teddy Bridgewater, but I would prefer Wentz, honestly. Bridgewater's not aggressive enough for me, honestly. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.